Right now, the entire football world is buzzing because a move that few people truly saw coming is suddenly shaking the foundation of the NFL, and it all centers around Dallas. Reports in league chatter are pointing towards Steve Sarkisian being named the new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and whether you love it, hate it, or are still trying to process it, one thing is absolutely clear. This is not a small hire. This is not a quiet transition, and this is not business as usual for America's team. This is a statement move, and it instantly puts the Cowboys right back in the middle of every major NFL conversation. For years now, Dallas has lived in this strange space where they are always relevant, always talked about, always talented, yet somehow always falling short of the ultimate goal. Every season starts with optimism, big expectations, and Super Bowl dreams, and almost every season ends with frustration, disappointment, and more questions than answers. The roster has never really been the problem. The star power has never really been the problem. The problem has always been about identity, execution, and whether this team could evolve fast enough to keep up with a changing NFL East. By turning to Steve Sarkisian, Dallas is making it clear that they believe evolution is the answer. Steve Sarkisian is not a flashy celebrity coach. He's not someone who wins press conferences with big quotes or bold promises. What he is, however, is one of the most respected offensive minds in football circles. Coaches around the league understand how difficult his schemes are to prepare for. Players consistently talk about how his systems put them in positions to succeed. Quarterbacks, in particular, have often spoken about how much clarity and confidence they gain when playing under him. This hire is about football substance more than football optics, and that alone makes it fascinating. One of the most important elements of this move is timing. Dallas didn't wait years to make a change. They didn't drag this out through endless rumors and speculation. Once the decision makers felt that the team had plateaued, they moved aggressively. That tells you there was a real belief inside the organization that a fresh voice, a modern offensive philosophy, and a new leadership approach were necessary to unlock the next level of success. In the NFL, hesitation often kills momentum, and Dallas clearly didn't want to hesitate any longer. The conversation immediately turns to Dak Prescott because everything in Dallas eventually does. Dak has been one of the most debated quarterbacks in the league for years. Like, some fans see him as an elite leader who has carried the franchise through instability. Others see him as someone who hasn't delivered enough in the biggest moments. What Steve Sarkisian potentially brings to the table is a system that doesn't ask Dak to be perfect on every snap. Instead, it asks him to be efficient, decisive, and in rhythm. That may sound simple, but it's a massive philosophical shift. Sarkisian's offensive approach is built around creating advantages before the ball is even snapped. Motion, spacing, layered route concepts, and timing-based throws are all designed to simplify reads for the quarterback while simultaneously stressing the defense. For Dak, this could mean fewer forced throws, fewer moments where he feels pressured to play hero ball, and more opportunities to let the offense flow naturally. If that happens, the entire narrative around him could change almost overnight. This move also speaks volumes about where the Cowboys think the NFL is heading, not where it's been. The league has evolved into a space where adaptability matters more than stubborn tradition. Defensive looks change constantly. Coverages disguise themselves better than ever. To survive, offenses have to stay unpredictable. Sarkisian has built a reputation on staying one step ahead, adjusting week to week and designing game plans that attack specific weaknesses rather than relying on a one-size-fits-all philosophy. Dallas hasn't always been known for that level of flexibility, and this hire suggests they want to be. Naturally, fan reaction has been intense. Cowboys fans are some of the most passionate, loyal, and vocal fans in all of sports, and this move has sparked endless debate. Some see it as a brilliant decision that finally modernizes the franchise. Others are cautious, pointing out that hype has surrounded Dallas before, only to lead to disappointment. There's a sense of guarded optimism mixed with skepticism, and honestly, that's understandable given the history. Dallas fans have been promised this is the year too many times to fully buy in without seeing results. Around the rest of the league, however, the reaction has been noticeably different. Opposing coaches and analysts aren't dismissing this move. In fact, many are openly acknowledging that if Sarkisian brings his full offensive creativity to Dallas, combined with the talent already on the roster, the Cowboys could become one of the most difficult teams to game plan against. That kind of respect matters. It signals that this isn't just a headline grab, it's a move that commands attention. Another critical piece of this puzzle is leadership. Being a head coach in Dallas is unlike being a head coach anywhere else. The media spotlight is relentless. Every decision is analyzed. Every loss becomes national news. Sarkisian stepping into that environment is a test not just of football IQ, but of composure and authority. The belief inside the organization seems to be that he's ready for that responsibility, that his experiences over the years have prepared him to handle pressure, criticism, and expectation without losing focus. What will also be fascinating to watch is how Sarkisian builds his coaching staff. The assistants he brings in, especially on the defensive side of the ball, will reveal a lot about his overall vision. Dallas doesn't need a rebuild, they need refinement. They need complementary football. If the offense becomes more explosive and efficient, the defense will be asked to play with leads, manage tempo, and close games. The right coordinator pairing could turn this into a very balanced team. This move also sends a message to the locker room. It tells players that the organization believes in their talent enough to make a bold coaching change rather than blowing everything up. That can be empowering. Players want to feel like they're part of a plan, not part of a problem. A new head coach often brings renewed energy, competition, and accountability, and in a league where motivation can make the difference between winning and losing close games, that matters. There will be no grace period, though. Dallas is not a place where a coach gets years to figure things out quietly. Expectations will be immediate. Every game will be judged. Every decision will be questioned. That's the reality of the job. But if Sarkisian succeeds even partially, the reward is enormous. He has the opportunity to change how people talk about the Cowboys, how players view the organization, and how the league prepares for them. Ultimately, this hire represents a gamble, but it's a calculated one. Standing still was no longer an option. The Cowboys chose to move forward, to embrace innovation, and to trust that a modern offensive mind can finally push them past the barriers that have held them back for so long. Whether this decision leads to playoff breakthroughs or becomes another chapter in Dallas's long history of what could have been remains to be seen. But one thing is undeniable. The NFL just got louder, the spotlight just got brighter, and the Dallas Cowboys, once again, are at the center of it all. Steve Sarkisian stepping into this role is more than just a coaching change. It's a signal that Dallas believes its next era starts now. The pressure is on, the expectations are sky high, and the entire football world will be watching every single snap.